Hey y'all.
This is my husband Jared.
This is my wife Jennie.
This is CherryPieCottage.
Episode 73.
I can't believe we're on that number already.
I feel like it should be more. I feel like we've been doing this so long we should be in the hundreds by now, but...
Well, it could be that last year we skipped some because
we did skip a lot.
Computer broke and
my
grandmother died and just,
all sorts.
It's 2020. That's what it was. That happened. Let's not bring y'all down. Let's start and finish our entire intro. Don't know if that's ever going to happen.
Probably not.
No. So we live in Lubbock, Texas. We do like it a lot. Is that better? Did I convince people we do like living here?
I don't know.
We like living here because it's small town feel, but it's still got like some big city amenities to it. Some. We are, the biggest city in our area.
Yeah. I think we're the biggest city west of I-35.
Besides El Paso.
Well, I think we're even bigger than El Paso.
I think El Paso's bigger than us.
Maybe. I don't know.
Are
we talking land area or population?
Population.
Let's find out. Real quick. Let's keep going.
Okay.
But
welcome to all of our new viewers. Yes, we are this scatterbrained. Yes, it will get worse. And yes, it will be hilarious. Our returning viewers, you know exactly what's going on. So just sit back, relax, and giggle along. What's been going on?
Not a whole lot, really.
You got our flower bed ready. He let me pick out all the flowers because I let him buy new tools.
Yes. Oh yeah, El Paso's way bigger than us.
Yes.
Sorry.
So.
As of 2019, we had 250,000 people. They had 680,000 people.
Well, now we have like 300,000.
So.
But between DFW and El Paso, we're the biggest city.
Yes.
West of 35. So yeah. It's us and El Paso, basically.
Yeah. And we're a good 7-8 hours from El Paso.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's a question. Who else measures distance and time? I know we do.
It confuses us when you tell us miles. We're like,
yeah, don't tell me miles. Tell me how long I'm going to be sitting in a car.
Yeah, that's how we gauge how long it's going to take. Not miles. We don't get it. What we do is just, it's not our norm.
I have to convert the miles into
how many hours it's going to take us to drive those miles.
Like if you're like, it's 600 miles, I'll say, okay, driving 70 miles an hour, that's going to be about 8 hours.
In Texas, that is. Outside of Texas, you're going to be driving slower than that unless you're on the interstate.
Oh my goodness, New Mexico.
Oh, 55.
Look, I have New Mexicans, nothing against you guys, okay? Y'all need to update your speed limits. When I'm on the interstate having to drive 55.
We weren't even on an interstate, we were on a highway, but there was nothing around.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing around.
It's
and
desert.
The speed limit, 55. And no, that's ridiculous.
Oh my goodness. And then we have, speed limits 80 on I-10.
Yeah. So y'all need to get with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know who y'all need to talk to about it. Your governor maybe, but
when there's nothing around and it's a divided highway, come on now. You need to get faster than 55. Yeah. So, our daughter got a job.
Finally.
Oh, stop. She has had some experiences. First time job. She she thought she understood how things worked. She does not.
But we're not going to make fun of her.
No.
We're not going to make fun of her.
Because it's typical of every teenager when they first get a job. So it's funny because...
And it's kind of our fault for not teaching her that stuff.
We did, and you know what I got? I know, Mom, I know. So in the back of my head, when she'd come home and complain, I'm like, I told you so. I didn't tell her that. I just let her gripe, get it out of her system. But... yeah, just like we tried to tell her about taxes and Medicare and all of that that's going to be taken out. She thought that the Medicare being taken out of her check from her job was only to pay for the Medicare at her job. She didn't realize it was a federal thing that you had to pay it no matter what.
Yeah.
So, and we tried to tell her that. She didn't, which before she got a job, I tried to tell her all of these things, and she's like, I know. She even took financial literacy this year. Did you just pull a stitch out? It's right there, your white one.
I know. It shouldn't be white.
Hold your breath, hold on.
Bear with.
Bear with.
Bear with.
Bear with.
There.
All good?
I think so.
Okay.
I really hope so.
Well, look at your pattern.
Well, no, I know it was supposed to be black.
Okay.
But I just hope that the way I just fixed it actually... and I mean, if it has one little bloop in there, then...
It wouldn't be a pattern of... It wouldn't be one unit without a little bloop.
Exactly.
So...
Exactly. I am the king of bloops.
And he goes with it. He doesn't tink back and fix it. And I'm like...
Why bother?
And I will drop all the way down to fix the one stitch. I can't. No.
I figure it's me adding a little bit of flair.
Mm-hmm.
So.
The other thing that we have going on is that LTC, which is Leadership Training for Christ, which is what our kids do every year. This year, there was going to be a whole lot of restrictions for going to the convention. So our congregation decided we were going to do everything and turn it in online. Do it at our home congregation and then send it in online. Well, we have finished filming we're the puppet coaches for the older kids. So we have like junior high and high school. We finished all of our filming for that. He is edited. It is ready to go. So we are done with that. The only thing we have left to do is the big banquet that we usually do, which is our whole congregation's invited now because they're going to get to watch everybody's, because usually before we go, I'm scatterbrained, I'm sorry. Usually before we go to the convention, like the Sunday night before we go, everybody gets up and they show after services, and the whole congregation gets to watch the puppets and everything, all the group projects that we've done. And then before that, the young men are the ones that are leading the service. So the ones that are doing song leading or speeches or Bible reading or anything like that, they're the ones doing the young men are. So we weren't able to do that this year since we're filming it all. So we're just going to have our big banquet, which is kind of like a hoorah for the kids because they finished. So, but we rented out the corn maze here. Of course, there's no maze, but they have lots of other things. It's their facility. Our congregation rented it out, and that's where we're going to do their banquet this year. So, that's the only other thing we have left to do for LTC. Mm-hmm. I mean, our son completely forgot that he had signed up for Bible reading and just picked his scripture today. Hadn't even timed himself. He says, "Oh, do you think this one's long enough?" I was like, "You need to time yourself, son." And he's supposed to do it Wednesday so they can film it and send it off. So yeah, there's that. But I can't think of anything else. Can you, of what's been going on?
Not really.
Not really, no. Both been working. Our daughter's been working.
Our son's the only freeloader left.
Yeah. Dad's doing math now because Mom has lost all of her patience with him.
Oh my goodness, and it is so stupid. All right. I have a message.
Oh, another math message.
I have another math message. Okay. If you are a math teacher out there, okay, I have a lot of respect for what you do because I have hard enough time teaching my child. I couldn't imagine having to teach other people's children math. That's not my message. My message is this. Stop telling kids that all that math they're going to use every day of their lives. Okay? We're working on graphing linear equations and converting linear equations into slope-intercept form and all this other happy horse crud.
Now you feel my pain.
There is no everyday application for that math. I'm absolutely positive that there is an application for it in specialized career fields that require that kind of math.
Most children are not going to need that kind of math.
No. Add, subtract, multiply, divide, fractions, and decimals.
And critical thinking for math.
That's it.
Mathematical critical thinking, because...
That's it. Well, the critical thinking is deciding, do I add, do I subtract, do I multiply, do I divide? What do I do here to figure this out? That's the critical thinking that's involved. Mm-hmm. But other than that, everything else is just specialized. Don't tell the kids they're going to use it every day of their lives. Because they aren't. Okay?
And stuff he's learning in 7th grade, we learned like sophomore year. Maybe not sophomore. We learned it in Algebra 2.
Yeah.
He's doing pre-algebra right now. And this is pre-algebra.
Even the word problem that they gave was ridiculous. A girl bought some books. And then it was like, graph how many of the books she bought. I'm like, I already know how many she bought. The word problem told me. But you're supposed to graph the X and Y intercept, and then it says if she buys this many of this dollar amount book, then she'll buy this many of that dollar amount book. And I'm like, well, that's simple addition and subtraction. I don't need a piece of graph paper to tell me how many books I can buy.
Well, it doesn't help because with math in general, you learn one concept and then build on that next concept. And our son gets it for 2 weeks. Totally understands it, no help whatsoever. And then all of a sudden, I don't know how to do that. Something he's learned 2 weeks ago and is used in the last 2 weeks worth of lessons. All of a sudden, he doesn't know how to do it. He doesn't understand it. That's the part that just irritated me beyond belief. He did that to you the other day.
See, well, here's the thing. I figured out why you have such a hard time teaching him. Okay, it's because you don't have the same sense of humor as him.
Oh, by the way, woot woot.
Okay.
Sorry.
You don't have the same sense of humor as he does, so I do. So when I sit there and joke around with him about how stupid and pointless the math is, or how much that word problem does not make sense, he kind of gets it because we're kind of on the same mental capacity level. And so, yeah, it just, you have to know how to joke with him.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I'm officially sold out on Halloween Advents.
What? If y'all didn't get yours, sorry about you.
Rude. Rude.
And look, I'm not disparaging math.
No.
Math is important. But all the math that kids have to learn nowadays, and even when we were in school, all of it is not all that important.
Well, I will say this. It's not important in everyday lives till you have to help your children with their homework. Then you have to remember what you learned.
Yeah.
It's the only time that you have to use it.
Good luck remembering it 20 years down the road when your kid needs the help with it. And you've never used it a day in your life.
Yep.
Aside from learning it and then having to teach it.
Learning it, then 20 years later.
Yes, having to teach it. Okay. Our daughter was doing trigonometry this year. No. No, you need trigonometry if you are a trigonometrist. Okay?
Or a mathematician.
That's the only career field, and I think that's even a made-up career field. I think I just made that word up.
I think you did too.
Trigonometrist. Okay. That's the only person who needs to know trigonometry.
We're going to hear math tirades probably every single time.
Because it's just going to get more complicated and more ridiculous as it goes.
But when he was younger, I could teach him. He understood it. We had no problems.
Here's the worst part of it. I find myself teaching him this stuff. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you do this and this and this and this. Simple. I can remember back to when I was learning these concepts. Okay, and I wanted to pull my eyeballs out of my head because it made that much sense to me. Yet here I am 20 years later, and I'm like, yeah, that's easy. Why didn't my teacher just tell me that?
Different teaching styles. And I am the daughter of a math teacher, y'all. And my sister is a high school math teacher. They love math. I can't stand it.
They don't. Nobody loves math. People who say they love math are just trying to convince themselves that they did not dedicate their lives to something that nobody likes.
Anyways, they love math. We do not. Like we've said before, we are a English and history family.
Yes.
Those are the two things that we think are the most important. Because if you don't know how to communicate well, you're not going to do well in life.
Nope.
If you don't know how to learn from history, you're just going to end up repeating it. You need to learn good parts, bad parts, and all the in between. History's important. And our kids, when we lived in Okinawa, we went to a lot of historical sites. Really had nothing to do with, World War II or anything like that. It was about actual Okinawan history. Mm-hmm. We also did the World War II ones because Okinawa was like a major island for the Americans in the Pacific region for during the war. But we tried to make it fun. That was the part. That was the main thing. And our kids really enjoyed it. And they still really enjoy it. Our son didn't like reading. We could not figure out why. He didn't want to read Harry Potter. He didn't want to read Percy Jackson. He didn't want to read all these fun kids' books. No, forget it. Come to find out, it's because he doesn't like fiction. He wants nonfiction books. That's what he enjoys.
But not like biography nonfiction.
No, he wants like history fiction or things about hunting, or he wants like a real story, basically. He doesn't want a made-up story. So, which we found very interesting. We were like, really? That's the reason why you don't like reading? Because we've always made him read. Always. We've let him pick out books, but he never said, I don't like these kinds of books. I want to read these kinds of books. So, but now we know. Mm-hmm. So next time we go to Barnes & Noble, we'll take him over to the nonfiction section. So, do you have anything else to add?
No. And I apologize for my math tirade.
Why?
I don't know, but I'm sure somebody got offended by it, or...
Oh, whatever.
And it's not about why we're here, so...
He had something to get off of his chest. And if you've been watching us for a while, you know this is him. Things pop into his head, and he says them. About half of them I edit out now, but the other half you get to hear. We are currently running a cowl, C-A-L. Not the thing you wear around your neck.
Your schneck?
You want to talk?
Yes, it is the Treat Yourself Cowl, K-A-L, and it is what you have to do is you have to knit something for yourself.
Or
Hence,
crochet.
Treat yourself. And it started on the 1st, and it's running through the 31st. And whips don't count.
Nope.
So you had to have started it on or after the 1st. And
take 2. So treat yourself, Cal. CAL or KAL or SPA, SAL, spin yarn. We added that in last week, remember?
So wouldn't that be a mal at that point then?
No, because it's not all. It is not all.
Not all crafty things.
Right. Knit, crochet, or spin. What?
Crafty things. It's only the best I know in the universe.
Hey, commercial. If you're not in the military, it's Armed Forces Network. It's what you get when you were overseas.
Yeah. And you don't get real commercials.
No.
You get commercials for things like the base legal office or for recycling.
Unless you get cable where, like, that's contracted.
Yeah, if you get the contract cable. But if not, if you're just on the local channels or on the free channels or whatever, you get, like I said, commercials for, like, the base services.
Yeah.
And one of the things on Okinawa was Crafty Things. And it's where you could go and get...
Your craft store.
It was a craft store, basically.
They didn't have fabric, though.
Yeah. But they did, like, a Napoleon Dynamite commercial.
Yeah, because that commercial was made when Napoleon Dynamite was popular.
Yeah.
Our favorite, though, is still... Yo, I'm a styrofoam cup, yo!
Bam, yo, Joey!
If you want to see that one for yourself, go to YouTube and just type in
Styrofoam cup, AFN, Okinawa.
Yeah. So, there's also, you remember the cartoon chicken?
Yeah.
With, like, the wild hair talking about the flu?
Mm-hmm. For science!
Okay, we've gotten off track.
Yes.
Back to the cow.
Rabbit hole.
We have had one of our prizes come in.
What?
And he's tried to steal this about 3 times now.
It has not been 3 times. It's been like 1 time.
This time.
1 time. You showed it to me and I said, I like that. I want it. You said, no, you can't have it. It's for the cow. I said, okay. And then just now when we were setting up, I tried to sneak it. So that's 1 time that I've tried to take it.
Okay.
So
this is a bag from Knit for Brains. Laura. Not Lara, but Laura. And bam, it's the ice cream bag. I need to see if she has more in the shop for you. Or do you really want me to order you one since you don't really...
I really don't need more project bags.
You really only need like 1 bag in each size.
Yeah, basically.
But here you go. Ice cream bag. Detachable handle on your zipper. The inside, and it comes with a needle keeper. And the inside. So, that's one of our prizes. I have another one coming in. And the lovely ladies at Cozy Up Knits have donated a pattern too. So, that's fantastic. Pattern of the winner's choice, I think. I don't know. I'll have to ask. But that is our treat yourself cowl. Do you have anything else to add about the cowl?
I do not.
Cowl, whatever. My accent's getting in the way. Then it's time to move on to Bow Party!
Hey babe, what pose you got?
You didn't even give me a chance to ask.
No, because it's absolutely ridiculous that you ask me every time, knowing that I have no foes. I'm putting it out there right now. Hey babe, I have no foes. So, you go right ahead.
You didn't let me have my fun, but that's okay. Okay, so I finished a pair of socks for our son. And it was I'll Be There For You. And I had to use Jared's sock blockers for our 13-year-old's feet. So, but this was the Friends Yarn Club for January from Night Owl Fibers, which, by the way, she has her April up, and it's a Phoebe Buffet. I've already ordered mine. Y'all should go order yours. But anyways, I love that she has speckle. You see the white? There's speckles in the stripes. Oh, I love that. So, these are finished. I'll give these back to you now. So, and I have decided that all of these friends, because I'm buying each skein of yarn from the friends, I am going to, both of our kids' birthdays are essentially in the fall. Michael's is like late August, but Haley's is like right smack dab in the middle of fall. So I'm going to make a box of socks. For each pair of socks that I knit them, I'm just going to put them aside in a box for their birthdays. So there's Michael's first pair. Then I finished my No Maker socks. And I can't remember what these are. I think they were the fall something. I don't know. Go back to last week's. But I finished them. They are done. They're the make your own stripes. So each, I do each mini and then I do a white stripe in between. So, and these are on my sock blockers from Burning Impressions. So, and I have a hole there, and I don't know why. That actually makes me angry that I have a hole there. Ugh, and I have one there too. Ugh. And these are definitely not my color. But I'm still gonna wear them in the fall. So, there we go. 2 pairs of socks. Ta-done.
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 Ta-done. You're like, ta-da, but they're done. So, ta-done. Ta-done. No? Okay, well then, since he has no foes and he wouldn't let me have fun by asking, let's move on to our next section, which is Whip It. Whip It Good. Hey babe, what you whipping up? Or do you want me to go first?
Oh.
Okay.
I'll go. I am still working on my Little Pine.
You said it right!
Cowl. But and I don't have the picture page here, so I can't really show y'all anything. But it is the Little Pine by the Cozy Up Girls. Mm-hmm. And all right, take 3.
Bam!
All right. So
this is the 3rd time we've tried to film this.
3rd try. All right. I am knitting the Little Pine by Cozy Up Knits.
Okay.
That is the picture of it.
He's super excited about this project. He's just annoyed that this is the 3rd time he's had to say the same thing.
So.
Camera stopped recording. Then the kids came home. So, that's why it's the 3rd time.
Yes. So, Little Pine, Cozy Up Knits. I am hijacking mine to not be a hat. Mine is going to be a cowl. Which I know they also have like just the earmuffs or the
headband.
Headband. The headband pattern. But mine's going to be a cowl. So I am doing mine, and I'm going to move my needles because I keep pulling stitches out.
Phones. Funny little humans, you never know. Anywhere without your phones. Anyway.
Laura or Lara?
Neither, it's Hesper.
Oh, okay. Alright, so I am doing mine monochromatic, black and white, and I'm also doing mine double knitting so I can wear it 2 ways.
Real quick, that flash drive that Hesper sent home, I've got to take that back because that has the Bible quiz stuff on it.
Yeah.
You already put it in my purse?
Yeah, it's in your purse with the other. I told you I was putting them both in there.
Okay. You're the best.
I know.
I love you so much. So glad you're mine, and I love your face.
I want to talk about my project.
Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss.
Let me talk about my project.
Give me a kiss.
Okay, So, I am using Stranded Dye Works, not Randed, but Stranded Dye Works. Big frickin' llama DK.
Blue-faced Leicester. It's a sheep, not a llama.
It is 100% superwash, big frickin' llama. The colorway is smoked.
If I'd quit correcting you, you'd quit saying it.
Probably, but you keep correcting me, so I'm just gonna keep on saying it.
I correct you for our followers only.
It's like superwash merino and single white mouth.
That was probably the dumbest and funniest thing you have ever said.
So that is the dark gray that I'm using, and the white is just an undyed 100% DK.
It's not.
Not 100%. I did it that time.
It's not my DK 100. It's DK stock.
Okay.
75-25.
It's a 75-25 DK blend.
Superwash merino.
Superwash merino nylon, and yeah.
DK blend.
Yes.
The blend.
It's a DK blend. It is a blend that is at the DK weight.
No.
It is a DK blend.
The blend is 75-25 superwash merino nylon. Our children brought us Sonic drinks.
Yes. In case you were wondering how we miraculously received Sonic drinks.
Yeah. So it made up for us having to do this a third time. Got anything else that you're whipping up?
It is in.
Oh, yeah.
It's in the best bags ever. It's in my Knit for Brains Texas flag bag.
Nothing against any other bag makers, but we just tend to buy her bags.
Well, nothing against Knit for Brains, but it's the best bag ever because it's the Texas flag.
Oh.
So. Anyway.
Really?
Yeah. I wasn't singling it out because she made it. I was singling it out because it's the Texas flag.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And not only is it in the Texas flag bag, but it's also in my little Dr. Pepper bag.
All around Texas.
Yep.
With the exception of the Stranded Dye Works.
Yeah. So I have the white yarn in here. So that way it doesn't, like before it gets knit together, the gray and the white don't kind of, or the gray doesn't kind of bleed onto the white.
Stranded is really good about hers not bleeding though.
And I'm not saying that it does. I'm just saying that
Some of those,
just in case.
Yeah, because he's had one where he had a black and
it bled all over the white.
Yeah.
So
all over his hands, everything.
Yeah. So I'm just keeping it in a little bag to keep them from felting on each other and to keep the gray from possibly bleeding onto the white.
Right. And
nothing against Stranded.
Yeah. Bleeding yarn is not necessarily the dyer's fault either.
No,
so
it's just the colors that...
Some colors will naturally come off on somebody's hands, like some blues come off on my hands. Some reds will come off on other people's hands, or it could just be the pH balance in somebody's water is completely different. So it didn't, like when they were rinsing their yarn when they were dyeing it, the water was clear. Somebody else who has a different pH level in their yarn, in their water, and it bled. There's really,
Right.
So if you really want, when you are washing your yarn, or when you are washing your product, your finished objects, if you go and get, what's that water? Not mineral. Distilled water. That is the best to use for non-bleeding yarn, to stop the bleeding completely. Had a little bit of... Oh, look, my tongue's blue.
All right.
My drink is purple. My tongue is blue. I got a Big Red with blue coconut. My favorite drink from when I was a teenager, and I was so excited when Sonic started serving Big Red, at least here in Texas. I don't know if it's doing it nationwide.
I hope not.
Yeah, I feel like I gotta talk like this. You know, see my mood?
You feel like you have to talk like that, but then you stick your gross tongue out for everybody to see.
My tongue's not gross.
Everybody's tongue is gross. My tongue is... The human mouth is disgusting. If you're... Next time you're talking to somebody, just look at their mouth.
See, when I look at your mouth, all I want to do is kiss you.
Well, that's different.
So why are you calling my mouth gross? You like to kiss me.
The things we suffer through.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I love you too, jerk face.
That's why I can never be a dentist. I just... Ew. Speaking of...
our daughter, like, intentionally picks blue things because it turns her mouth blue. Mm-hmm. It's hilarious. So, Hey,
babe.
Yes?
What you whipping up?
I am working on my next pair of Night Owl Fibers socks. And this one is Monica's apartment. This one was for February. I am using, for contrast, it's just a tonal. It's Sunshine, and it was on a 50-gram skein. I dyed them up last summer, and this one sat in the shop for a while, so I just decided it was mine. So, that's what it looks like. And this is what... Now this is, I divided this skein up into 4 25-gram balls because I'm going to knit a pair of socks for myself too. But, here's the socks. I love these. They are so pretty, and Haley is super excited about them. So, and I think that yellow just pops perfectly with it. I am knitting, these are 64 stitches. I knit mine on a 0. But I knit hers on a 1 because she likes hers a little looser and her foot is just slightly bigger than mine. So I will knit her socks, or the foot of her sock, just a little bit longer. And it is in my Knit for Brains bag. And it was the Bomb Pop one. And it's sparkly. I don't know if y'all can see that. See, I don't mind sparkle. I just don't want it on like my yarn or my clothing. Yeah, you can't see it. Oh, wait. There you go. It's so sparkly. So, but yeah, so there's that. And then I'm also still working on my other socks, which were Turtle Pearl.
I thought you were going to say Turtle Power.
No, Turtle Pearl. Colorway is 1992. And I am using, I believe these are whip yarn. And this was Sleeping Beauty. I believe, don't quote me on that. I lost the tag because I used it in a project years ago. So this was just in my leftovers.
Your scrapses?
Yeah. So, where this marker was is where I was the last time I showed you. So I've made some work on it. When I am done, I only knit 8 rows on these. I knit 8 rows a day. So when I still feel like, yeah, I want to knit more socks, I work on these. So, there you go. Speaking of Night Owl Fibers, they just put out a new episode, and Rachel's mom, who's on there, she says she feels bad because she's just knitting all socks, and that's all she's showing. And I'm going, don't feel bad. If that makes you happy, knit it, because that's pretty much what I've been working on for the last 2 weeks, is just socks, because that's what I felt like I wanted to work on. That is a really weird shadow at the back in the window. Pretty sure it's just the crepe myrtle, but it just looks weird. Right?
Yeah, that looks weird.
So, and this is in my Knit for Brains Dr. Pepper bag. So, Knit for Brains. But yeah, that, I mean, like, I have some progress on these other 2 that I'm gonna show you, but it's not much because all I want to knit right now is socks. I picked up my Festival of Stitches shawl by Lisa Haynes. This was a mystery knit along, but it has since been finished. It's been finished for a while. Like it was finished last year. But that's what it looks like when it's all done. I am using all ginger snap yarn, all on her Luxe fingering. I'm using Sakura Fubuki, which is that one. And I am using Squid Pie, which is that one. And I am using Magpie, which is that one. Oh. This colorway right here is the one that started my obsession with this. Because I loved this color and I loved the base, so I had to buy more.
What is mag?
Magpie, like the bird, magpie.
Oh. Well, you said squid pie and then magpie, so I'm like, okay, I get squid pie. It's pie made out of squid. What is a pie made out of mag?
It's not. It's the bird,
Like,
magpie.
what is mag?
It's all
and how
one
do you
word.
make a pie out of it?
It's all one word. So last time I showed you this, I had
Just throw that stuff anywhere.
just started the mosaic knitting on this side. Because this starts as a top-down triangle, and then you pick up stitches and you knit out this way. So I am, for now, done with this side.
Pretty.
And I've put it on a cable. And I have picked up this side and started working on the lace to match the other side on this side. Because that's what the pattern said to do. So that's what I'm going to do. What?
I'm just looking at this. Oh, that's real
Mosaic
nice.
knitting I love because it's just slip stitches.
Mm-hmm.
You're only working with one color at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks complicated, but it's really not.
Fancy.
Yeah. You show it closer to the camera because you can reach it better than I can.
Let me put my project down.
I'm sorry. But yeah. Just slip stitches.
Ooh, you got a bloop right there.
Where?
I'm not going to show you if you didn't see it.
Where?
I'm just kidding.
Don't be like that.
But yeah, that's real nice.
Thank you. And again, this is not a project that I am in a hurry to finish because we're coming into summer, which means I'm going to be scatterbrained and just working on every project, probably casting all out, because that's what happens in the summer, because it's not cold, it's burning up. So when a project gets to a certain size, I'm like, nope, too hot to knit that. And this is in my silver shed bag, Doctor Who, that Laura gave me for Christmas. I think it was for Christmas. No, it was for my birthday last year. Yeah. And can you reach this or no? You're the best husband ever. In my Dorothy bag, that Laura of Knit for Brains. See, I told you we have a lot of her bags. Oh look, there's another bag in here of hers. And there's this one. I like to use these to keep my yarn separated when I work on sweaters and stuff. This is my pink velvet sweater from Drea Renee Knits. And again, I am just slowly working on this when I feel like it. Like I said, I have just been in a sock mood, or I'm working on, like, I have some other sweaters that are just stockinette that I've been working on when I feel like it, but not enough progress to show you. So I am using a unicorn from my shop. So, which means unicorns are ooks, and I don't call them ooks because ooks is just not a fun name. So I call mine unicorns in my shop. And in case you don't know, ooks are one of a kind. So, and unicorns are one of a kind, so that's why my one of a kind skeins are called unicorns. But anyways, I had 4 of these that I had dyed specifically for me. And then I'm using Twisted Owl for the contrast, and it's Eye Searing Pink. And yes, it is that bright. I love it. So, these are the 2 colors. And this is like the color of my soul because I absolutely love bright pink. I don't wear it a lot, but if I can get bright pink on everything else, I will. I had just started the color work the last time I showed y'all. I am about halfway through the chart for the yoke. But there you go. And I am loving it. Oh, it's going to be such a nice sweater when it's done. I would like to have it finished by winter. Probably not fall, because I probably won't be able to wear it in the fall. Because we're still in like the 70s or 80s in the fall. So, but, yeah, just plugging along when I feel like it. Because I have decided that I'm just going to knit what I want to knit, and I don't care. I'm not going to try and rush and get things out just because we have a podcast. If I finish things, then I finish things. So if you've also noticed, if you've been watching us for a while, I used to have like 6 or 7 projects to show every time. I don't do that anymore. I really don't know why, but I just don't. I'm still not a monogamous knitter. Just not. This last couple of weeks, I haven't really felt like knitting. I do my 8 rows and then I work. And then I'm like, okay, I want to play Sims. What?
The last 2 episodes, you've had at least 5 projects that you've shown.
This is 4. I've had 3 or 4 the last time. I'm talking like when we first started, I had like 8 or 9 projects. And it bounced right off the couch.
Frick.
House.
Wow, you went a completely different direction from what I was going.
But that's all I'm whipping up. Which means before you start anything else.
You mean before I set this down to get ready for the next section?
Anyways, it's time for...
See what happened was.
See what happened was. What'd you do?
Oh, I had a notification from Apple Music.
About what?
Playlists for... Oh, wait. Check out our most popular playlist now. Playlists for every mood.
Okay.
Okay. So. Okay. So where we were at, last time we finished up with the revolution. La Revolution. Okay. Excuse me.
Our favorite part of the history.
Yes.
Besides the 10 years that followed.
Yeah, so now we are into the 10 years that Texas was its own country.
Yep.
And, just so y'all can see this, it was not shaped like it is now. Basically, that was the Republic of Texas.
The green and the yellow.
No, not the green and the yellow. The yellow is Mexico.
That's orange.
Oh, you're talking the light yellow over here?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. The light yellow over here is basically what Texas was. The green is a disputed area, and then the orange is Mexico. So, alright. So we start off in 1836, October of 1836, in Columbia. Not the country.
Well, no.
But the city. Okay.
Columbia, Ohio?
No.
I didn't know we had a city called Columbia.
Why would it be Ohio?
I don't know. I didn't know we had a city called Columbia here in Texas.
We actually don't.
Oh.
Now it's called West Columbia.
Oh.
Okay. So anyway.
Is there an East Columbia too?
There used to be. There used to be an East Columbia. Now it's just West Columbia. So in October of 1836, the first Congress of the Republic of Texas gathered. That's when they first came together. And as we usually say, history is not there for us to like it. History is what history is. Okay?
Learn from it.
Right. So we learn from it, we move forward, and we do better. One of the things that happened with Texas becoming its own nation is it overturned Mexico's abolition on slavery, which I think we can all agree
Was not
a bad idea.
Yeah.
Okay. However, they did allow slaveholders within the confines of Texas. They did allow slaveholders to free their slaves if they decided to. So theoretically there could have been a mix, and I haven't done enough research into this. There could have been a mix of free and black slave, or free and enslaved black people within
Could have been
Texas.
Irish people too,
Yes, granted.
because there was lots of Irish.
There were a
slaves, too.
lot of Irish slaves. Okay, so they overturned the abolition of slavery, allowing slaveholders to free their slaves if they wanted to. And sadly, during this time, that's when Stephen F. Austin died. He died actually very early in December 27th, 1836,
Now,
actually.
tell them why Stephen F. Austin dying was so.
Well, because he was the father of Texas.
He was our first president.
Yes. He was the one. Actually, he was not our first president.
No, it wasn't.
Sam Houston was our first president.
Yes, thank you.
Stephen F. Austin was the Secretary of State.
He was the reason why we were a country.
Right. But Stephen F. Austin he was the father of Texas. He just wasn't the first president. So, here's a question for you. How many capitals have we ever had in Texas?
I know at least 2.
6. We have had 6 capital cities in Texas.
And we stuck with Austin?
Not for lack of trying. Okay, so we had Washington on the Brazos, Harrisburg, Galveston, Velasco, and Columbia. And then Austin. Okay?
But San Antonio was never one of them.
No.
Should have been.
San
Where the Alamo is.
San Antonio was not one of them. Actually, sorry, we have not had 6. We've had 7.
Oh.
Because Sam Houston actually did move the capital to Houston. And I guess that was kind of a rivalry between him and Stephen F. Austin, because Stephen Austin put the capital in his namesake city, and Sam Houston's like, no, I'm going to put it in my namesake city. And so, yeah.
Okay.
So in 1837, the capital was moved to Houston. In 1839, the capital was moved again to Austin by the second president, which was Mirabeau Lamar. So there were two factions in Texas. You had the Nationalist Party, which was led by Mirabeau Lamar. They're the ones that were pushing for Texas to remain its own country. They said, we can take care of ourselves. We want to be our own country. Then you had, now again, history, not there for us to like it, but it is what it is. Another aspect of their party was get rid of all the Indians. Okay. Not a good move. And they wanted to expand Texas all the way to the Pacific Ocean. So their opponents, led by Sam Houston, advocated for the annexation of Texas to the U.S. and a peaceful coexistence with the Native Americans. Mm-hmm. So those were the two parties that were fighting it out in Texas at the time. Now, the revolution was not the last time that they had to deal with Mexico, however.
Well, no.
No. Just like the War of 1812 was not the last, I jumped ahead. Just like the Revolution for the U.S. was not the last time we had to deal with the British.
Right.
We had the War of 1812 after that, where they tried again.
It's just the more well-known.
Right. So, Texas governed itself, but Mexico refused to recognize its independence. So just like Santa Anna just came in and said, I'm in charge now, Mexico was like, no, you didn't actually win. You didn't win nothing. So in March of 1842, a Mexican force of 500 men led by Rafael Vasquez invaded Texas for the first time since the Revolution. And what they did is they actually went in and took over San Antonio. But with the Battle of Salado Creek, the Texans were able to basically kick them out of Texas. And they wouldn't come back again after that. However, with the attack, that kind of intensified the fighting between the nationalists and the, what was the other group called? Yeah, the nationalists, which wanted to be their own country, and then the, I guess, American Party or something. I don't know.
I don't know. You never said what they were called.
It doesn't say what the second party was called.
You think it would just make them work together to protect their borders better?
You would think. But, you know, political parties are always going to look for ways to fight more against each other. It's always going to happen.
Yep.
So the conflict between the two parties intensified, and there was an incident known as the Texas Archive War in 1842. And what it was is Sam Houston wanted to protect the Texas National Archives, so he was going to move it from Austin to Houston to better protect it, which would have functionally moved the capital from Austin to Houston as well. And there was actually a battle because of that. And people met the Texas Army. Texans met the Texas Army outside of Austin and basically said, no, take yourself back in there right now. It was the Monsters Inc. Play, you know, put that thing back where it came from, or so help me, so help me. So
this is us for new people.
Sorry.
This is normal.
So they forced the archives back into Austin at gunpoint. And the Texas Congress admonished Houston for the incident, and the incident would solidify Austin as Texas seat of government for
forever and ever.
And
well, might have not been so bad back then, but
I would definitely imagine in 1842 Austin was not the Austin that we know today. I'm sure, you know, Sam Houston wasn't going around saying keep Austin weird.
we're not fans of Austin now.
Yeah, no.
Even though that's our capital.
It is our capital, but
it's so different.
It really is.
So different. Let's just move on.
Yeah. So really, unfortunately, in this source at least, that is all the information I have for the 10 years. Now, some things that I do know that aren't in this, the reason why we ended up annexing into the U.S. is because we were so badly in debt.
We were broke.
Texas was broke. Our budget was upside down, and because of the war with Mexico and the revolution, then that's why we couldn't self-sustain longer than 10 years. And I know it took 10 years because the U.S. didn't want to immediately come in and annex Texas because of fears that it would spark a war with Mexico. Mm-hmm. So they wanted to give it time, I guess, for the tensions to cool between Texas and Mexico. And I also know that Texas is the only state to voluntarily join the U.S. We weren't annexed. We weren't taken in. We joined voluntarily. Mm-hmm.
And because of the reason that we joined, because we were broke, it is actually part of our state constitution that our state budget has to stay in the black. If we don't have the money, we don't do it.
Right.
So.
And our flag can fly at the same height as the U.S. flag.
Because we were a country of our own.
Yeah.
Also, our border extends 10 miles out into the Gulf rather than just the 5.
Right.
Which was part of the deal when we joined the U.S. We had a little bit more clout when we were asking to join rather than just being annexed.
Yeah.
So, but
again, not all parts of history are nice. There are dark stains.
Not. There are a lot of
history.
dark stains.
And that's why we have to look at them. You know, you have to look at those bad parts to make sure that your society doesn't go that direction again. Mm-hmm. You know.
Just like with the budget thing.
Right.
We were broke. We learned from it. We fixed it. Mm-hmm. So.
And it is a myth. It's not true, but it is a myth that Texas can legally secede. It was always believed that Texas, it's in our Constitution that we could just leave the Union whenever we wanted.
It might have been when we first joined, but after the Civil War, when we went back, that was changed.
Maybe.
However, there has been lots of petitions sent to the White House to leave.
But one thing Texas can do is split into 5 states.
Yeah, which I don't know why we want to do that.
I don't know why either.
I wouldn't want to.
I mean, if we just took Austin and made that a separate state, and then everything else.
There's a joke that we should just build a wall around Austin and
with a corridor that runs into the U.S. So that way, you know.
It's a joke, but it's
a joke. We love the people in Austin.
Yes.
We hate the politics in Austin.
Yes.
So.
But just so you know, Texans are not joking when we say we want to secede. When we say we want to leave.
Yeah.
We're not joking. We're being serious. We want to be our own country again. So, last I heard, there was an actual Texit being worked out.
And really, that is the model that the founding fathers had for the country. Mm-hmm. Okay, the United States was supposed to be separate governments. Okay, so you had like North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Connecticut, you know, all the 13 colonies basically that were established and then became states. They were supposed to be their own governing authorities. And then you had the federal government that resolved issues in between the different states. It was so if South Carolina or if North Carolina had a law that Virginia didn't have, and there was conflict because of that law, that's when the federal government stepped in and helped resolve the issue.
They were supposed to be the mediators,
right.
Not central over everybody.
Right. That was the original idea for the country. Not federal government, you know, pyramid scheming everything down. And I'm getting political here, and I'm sorry.
You're explaining
right.
How it's supposed to work.
Right.
How it is not working currently, and a lot of people don't understand that part of our history. They don't get that that's the way that it's working now is not how it was supposed to work.
Right.
We were basically supposed to be our own little countries where we could freely travel between all of them and freely trade and everything, but everybody was still their own country with the federal government to mediate, not lord over everybody.
Right. So
that is all the politics we're going to talk about today.
That is, see what had happened was.
See how happened was. Let's try that again. See what happened was. That was just
That sounded
words.
like when you had to like put the pencil inside the cassette tape and rewind it because all the tape came out, and then you had that warble in there.
For those that don't know what a cassette is. No, we're just kidding. So then let's move on to
My Precious.
I got my yarn in from Night Owl Fibers, and this was for March. This is the Friends one for March, and it's, I'm doing good, baby. How you doing? Bam. So these are definitely more Michael's colors. Haley looked at them and she said, no thanks. So I'm gonna knit a pair of socks for Michael out of these. And then I got my birthday bag in from Knit for Brains. I'm so excited about this one because she does not make these a lot. Oh, I'm so excited. It's a giant drawstring bag. And it's got giant pockets on the front. It's got the 6 pockets on the inside with bright neon circles. I love it so much. Oh, Laura. Told her, she said, you know I like big bags. She goes, and you cannot lie. I thought it was funny. Apparently my husband doesn't. So, but there's the inside. Oh, I love that so much. Thank you, Laura. Okay, let me. Now I really want to cast on a sweater just so I can use this bag. I mean, I suppose I could make it my purse, but that would be even big for me for a purse.
Would it though?
It really would. I mean, I've never had a purse that big before. I haven't. I have not. Guarantee you I have not. Even my Texas one was not this big. Oh, shut up. But that's all I have for my precious. Do you have all my precious?
I do not. Oh. I do, but they're out in the garage and it'd be hard to show them.
Yeah, his new tools.
I got new toys.
Okay, he got them because they're going to help him make some fun new stuff.
Yes.
For his shop.
Yes.
And possibly for my shop.
Possibly reopen my shop.
We also are planning to get a Cricut maker.
Mm-hmm.
Which we're both very excited about. He had to talk me into getting one, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So, do you think you could make my wooden tags for me?
Well, it's not a laser engraver.
No, but like I've seen videos where you can use it to burn in, or not, like the cutters that you can use it to cut the letters into the wood.
Possibly. We could try, I mean.
I think that would be awesome if we could do that.
The Varsity Bookstore sells real thin
balsa wood.
Balsa, and actually not just balsa. They have balsa. I think they've got like redwood. They've got all sorts of different.
Because I don't want to do balsa as a tag because I'm afraid it would break too easily.
Yeah, balsa would probably break real easy.
Yeah. But that's all we have for my precious. Then it's time to move on to
Shop News.
Oh, you said it with me. I'm impressed. Let me put my project away. That one stayed on the couch. What? Okay, so today is Sunday, March 28th. There will be a shop update tomorrow, March 29th at 4 Texas time. So by the time this goes up, the shop update should have gone up. So, but it's a bag update. And I love this fabric so much. I actually did 2 different styles, 3 different sizes. But look at this fabric. It looks all grown up and everything till you look closer and you see that there is a unicorn Pegasus and flamingos and swans all within the flowers. I love it. And then the inside is the same corally color that's in the flowers, but with polka dots. So these do not have the D-rings. I am discontinuing putting D-rings on my bags.
Why for?
because I just am.
Okay.
So I'd rather use more fabric to make more bags rather than to make the D-ring things. But anyways, so we have a large drawstring. We have large drawstring that's going into the shop. We have small drawstring going into the shop. And this one has the same inside fabric. Your handles on your drawstrings are going to be the same as the fabric on the outside. And we also have extra small drawstring. I say extra small, but you could easily fit a sock in there or a hat, or you could easily do 2 skeins, like 2 at a time socks. Then I also did zipper bags. I haven't done zipper bags in a while. I have discovered I have not done zipper bags in a long time. So we have large zipper bags. These have the polka dot handles. Same inside fabric. So, and these are quite big. They fit. They're bigger than Jared's head. Same for my large drawstring. They're pretty big too. I love this fabric so much. It's so pretty. So we have large zippers and we have small zippers. These are perfect for 2 at a time socks, a baby sweater, hats, cowls. So, and they have, my zipper bags have interfacing in them, but it's still soft enough. It will scrunch so you can fit it in your purse. So, there you go. I did, when we started recording, have one more Halloween advent in the shop, but as you heard, I'm sold out now. So, I do plan on doing Christmas advents. However, I need to get a hold of minis before I list any. So stay tuned for that. The earliest they would be listed is May. So, but like I said, I am stocking up on all the minis first. I have minis for the Halloween. Those are fine. But now I'm trying to buy minis for the Christmas advents. So stay tuned for that. Also, we're only going to do a 24-day advent if we do one, because we have something very special planned for the 12th day. So it'll still be, it won't exactly be an advent, but it'll still be 12 minis in a full skein. But should we just tell them our theme, or should I wait until I know for sure I'm going to be able to do it?
Let's wait.
Okay. But it's something very fun and special, and we're super excited about it. But that's all I have for shop news. As always, custom orders, message me and I will let you know if I can get a hold of that base, and how long it would take and all of that. So, anything else you'd like to add?
Nope.
Stay tuned to see if his shop opens.
Yeah, don't hold your breath.
Then it's time for the tail end.
Butts?
Still not about anybody's butts. You were supposed to go
wah wah.
There you go. My tongue is still very blue.
Congratulations.
Okay, it's distracting me. I'm sorry. Do you have anything to add into the tail end?
I do not.
You do not?
I do not. I'm very boring today.
Our daughter, as we've said 2 weeks ago, that she is completely done with high school. She now has a full-time job. We did her college walkthrough. And sometime...
Full-time is a very loose term there.
I didn't say she was full-time. I said she has a job.
You said she has a full-time job.
Oh, sorry. Well, she's trying to be full-time. But she's only been working there for 2 weeks. So they're slowly giving her more hours. But she's already filled out her financial aid and all of that stuff. Just found out that they have a VA office at the school. So Haley is going to make an appointment, and her dad are going to head up there and see about all of that. So She is planning to major in marketing. Wynn takes some writing classes because she really, really wants to be a writer. She is our English student, like through and through. She loves to edit. She loves to read. She loves to write. She will correct your grammar super fast. She's like her father on that sometimes. Which kind of doesn't work with the way she talks because she talks like me and messes up words. Not intentionally. And our son, just pray for him and his dad that they can get through the rest of the school year with the math.
And another thing about math. Okay.
Really?
No, not really.
Okay, well, we have 2 groups, one on Facebook and one on Ravelry. 1, 2. The cow is being ran in both. So you can either enter in one or the other, or if you're a member of both, you can enter into both. You have to be a member in order to enter. Ravelry, we are CherryPieCottage on both. Ravelry, you can just go and join. Facebook, you have to answer the 2 questions correctly, and we will let you in.
Here on YouTube, just do the YouTube stuff. Y'all know what to do.
What's the YouTube stuff?
Oh, they know what to... Like and subscribe, like and share. Hit the little bell button down there at the bottom so that way you find out first when we post new videos.
I'm bad I don't hit the bell because I don't want the annoying dings.
Yeah. So,
Help us get to
yeah.
it. Sorry. My bad.
The more people that subscribe, the closer, and once we get to 1,000 viewers or 1,000 subscribers, then we will do another giveaway and we can start doing YouTube lives out in places somewhere.
Running of the cherries.
Running of the cherries. Don't know why it's called that. I know I said it first, but I don't know why.
Because it was funny and I stuck it.
But that's it.
Okay. Do you have anything else to add before we sign off?
I do not.
Okay. God is good.
Read your Bible.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.